Funding provided by Fairway Meat and Grocery is a proud sponsor of the Iowa Girls State Softball Championships. Fairway believes in supporting the places Iowans learn, work, live, and play. Congratulations to all the schools and student athletes in this year's games. By Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialists, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community.
The sun is slowly setting on this opening night of championship softball action from Fort Dodge, Iowa at Harlan Rogers Park. We welcome you to the 4A championship game, the 2020 state softball season, as we have the top-seeded Carlisle Wildcats, 20-3 overall, taking on the Winterset Huskies, the 7th seed, who have been the underdogs in every single game here at the state tournament. She's Molly Parrott. I am Brad Wells. Welcome. And Molly, we saw some exciting softball from these two 4A semifinal winners yesterday, and this looks to be like a really fun matchup with Carlisle ready to run and Winterset just so solid all over.
Well, Carlisle, the returning state champs, they've had that target on their backs all season long. Winterset, though, they are playing their best ball at the right time.
Let's take a look at the Huskies as they come into this state tournament championship game, 16-7. This is their 10th trip to state as a school, but a very young team with just one senior. And you have a freshman at shortstop in Jenna Young. Hits a team best .581, also has 9 home runs. That's the most of any freshman in the state this summer. As we take a look at the Carlisle Wildcats, the defending 4A champions. This is their 18th trip to state, and they have 6 starters back from last year's title team and are a senior-dominated squad. Regular season wins over 5 other state qualifiers. They challenge themselves with a 5A schedule as well. Let's send it up to Tim Fitzpatrick, tonight's public address announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union recognizes pitchers that have achieved 100 victories for their high school softball career. 3 pitchers reached the 100 victory plateau during the 2019 season. Here to present today's honorees with their 100-game plaques is IGHSAU Executive Director Gene Berger. Tonight's first honoree pitched Central Springs to 5 state tournament appearances, including a 4th place finish in Class 2A in 2018. She finished her career with 1,000 career strikeouts, and her record of 142 wins and 31 losses ranks in the top 100 in career victories. Congratulations to Hannah Ossenhus from Central Springs High School. Our next honoree pitched 5 seasons at Trainer High School. She helped the Cardinals reach the 2019 Class 3A state tournament, where she collected her 100th career victory in her final appearance in a Cardinal uniform. She's continued her career at Central College. From Trainer with a record of 100 wins and 20 losses, Sydney Huseman. Our final honoree led Waterloo Columbus Catholic to its first ever state tournament appearances. She pitched the Sailors to 3 consecutive state tournaments, including a 3rd place finish in Class 3A in 2019. She's continued her softball career at North Iowa Area Community College. With a record of 121 and 23, welcome Kayla Sproul from Waterloo Columbus Catholic. Congratulations to our 100-game winners from the 2019 softball season, Hannah Ossenhus from Central Springs, Sydney Huseman from Trainer, and Kayla Sproul from Waterloo Columbus Catholic. #2020 marks the 39th year that the greatest high school softball players in Iowa have been inducted into the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union's Softball Hall of Fame. Today, 4 more of the state's greats join 125 of their peers as this year's Hall of Fame inductees. Presenting this year's Hall of Fame award, representing the Iowa Farm Bureau, is Brent Johnson. Today's first inductee is Jody Christensen of North Polk. Jody pitched for North Polk from 1995 to 1999, compiling an impressive career record of 152 wins with just 53 losses. Jody earned first-team All-State honors twice and helped North Polk reach the state tournament 4 times. She earned a spot on the 1999 All-Tournament team after pitching North Polk to a 3rd-place finish at the 1A state tournament. Jody went on to pitch at Waldorf and won 29 games in 2 seasons, helping the team place 3rd at the Junior College Division II National Championships. Jody graduated from Iowa State in 2003 and works for Collins Aerospace in Cedar Rapids. She and her fiancé and 4 children reside in Van Horn. Welcome to the Hall of Fame from North Polk High School, Jody Christensen. Tonight's second inductee played for legendary coach Larry Niemeyer at Cedar Rapids Jefferson from 1993 through 1997. She was a 5-year starter for the Jayhawks and was a 2-time first-team All-State selection. In 1997, she batted .460 with 32 RBIs to help lead Cedar Rapids Jefferson to the Class 3A state championship. She took her talents to the University of Iowa. There, she lettered all 4 years for the Hawkeyes and was a member of the 2001 softball team that reached the College Softball World Series. She coached softball at Cedar Rapids Prairie High School last year, and then this fall was named as a volunteer assistant coach for the University of Iowa softball team. Let's welcome her back to Rogers Park from Cedar Rapids Jefferson, Erin Dowd Johnson. Our next honoree starred at Clear Creek, Amana, where she was a key cog in one of the top offensive machines in the history of Iowa high school softball. She earned first-team All-State honors 3 times for the Clippers and played on 2 state championship teams in 2009 and 2011. She was a Class 3A Player of the Year in 2011 when she hit .625 with a state-best 85 RBIs as Clear Creek Amana completed the first unbeaten softball season in 44 years in Iowa high school softball. A 2-time All-Tournament team selection, she enjoyed similar success at the University of Northern Iowa. She started all 208 games she played in for the Panthers. She began her UNI career as the Missouri Valley Conference Newcomer of the Year and earned first-team All-Conference honors in 2016. She entered her Northern Iowa career as the school's all-time leader in doubles. Her softball prowess has transitioned into the coaching profession. After a stint as a graduate assistant at Augustana in South Dakota, she's now in her 3rd season as an assistant softball coach at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome one of Iowa's top hitters to the Iowa High School Softball Hall of Fame from Clear Creek, Amana, Caitlin Winnick. Our final inductee follows the great Penny Cope as the second Carlisle Wildcat to be inducted into the IGHSAU Softball Hall of Fame. She played for the Wildcats from 2006 through 2010. A 5-year starter, she collected a career record of 140 wins with just 22 losses in the pitching circle, while owning a career batting average of .509. A 4-year first-team All-State selection, she twice earned elite All-State status. She led Carlisle to 3 state tournaments and was named to 2 All-Tournament teams. As a senior, she recorded a 32-2 record with a 0.62 ERA. She batted .487 as Carlisle won the 2010 Class 3A state championship. She went on to enjoy a stellar career at Drake University. She owns the Drake record for career starts and was twice named first team All-Missouri Valley Conference. She's gone on to coach college softball at AIB, Illinois, Chicago, and Northern Kentucky. She served as an assistant coach this summer at Ankeny Centennial High School, helping the Jaguars finish 3rd in the school's first ever state tournament appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the IGHSAU Softball Hall of Fame from Carlisle, Jordan Gronewald. Ladies and gentlemen, the IGHSAU Softball Hall of Fame Class of 2020, from North Polk, Jody Christensen, Aaron Dowd of Cedar Rapids Jefferson, Caitlin Winnick of Clear Creek Amana, and Jordan Gronwald from Carlisle. Congratulations.
Carlisle hoping to capture some of that Jordan Grunewald magic, getting inducted into the fame as we get set here for the 4A championship game, as the festivities will now step aside for some state championship softball. Carlisle and Winterset, the 1 seed against the 7 seed, coming up here in the 4A championship game.
Had a great 5A game in our opener. Expect nothing less in this 4A contest. Still a great crowd here at Rogers Park.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and softball fans. Welcome to Rogers Sports Complex and this 4A championship game between the visiting team, the Winterset Huskies, and the home team, the Carlisle Wildcats. Let's first of all meet the non-starters and the assistant coaches for the Winterset Huskies. Number 2, Avery Darling. Number 3, Delaney Osborne. Number 10, Lainey Renfrew. Number 15, Allie Soderberg. Number 24, Summer Little. Number 25, Molly Breeding. Number 28, Jaya Claymeyer. And 33, Lily Applegate. Your assistant coaches, Jennifer Devine, Carly Olson, and Taylor Benshoff. Now here are your starters for the Winterset Huskies. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 4, Jenna Young. Batting second in right field, number 12, Natalie Drake. Batting third and doing the catching, number 22, Bridget Stover. Cleanup hitter for the Huskies at first base, number 5, Ava Loudon. Batting fifth at second base, number 8, Lauren Carter. Batting sixth, the designated player, number 20, Jessie Nicholson. Batting seventh at third base, number 14, Bailey Ecton. Batting eighth in center field, number 19, Riley Caius. And batting in the ninth position, the pitcher, number 9, Thea Banning. And your flex player playing in left field, number 6, Abby Benshoff. Head coach for the Winterset Huskies, Steve Corcoran. Now let's meet your non-starters and assistant coaches for the home team from Carlisle. 00, Lexi Link. Number 1, Isabel Noring. Number 4, Lauren McGriff. Number 5, Tatum Weifenbach. Number 7, Riley Sievers. Number 21, Sarah Watchell. Number 24, Kaylee Parson. Number 25, Katie Keeney. Number 29, Kaylin Fernal. Number 31, Ashley Hyde. Number 40, Anna Olson. Number 50, Taylor Lee. And Cassie Lee. Your assistant coaches, Lee Brecht, Justin Flaws, Jay Flaws, Jordan Flaws, Lauren Cruz, Haley Wright, and Gabby Stadhorst. Now, here's your starting lineup for the Carlisle Wildcats. Leading off and doing the catching, number 23, Kennedy Preston. Batting second in center field, number 26, Aubrey Fernal. Batting third at first base, number 20, Meredith Hoffman. Cleanup hitter for the Wildcats at third base, number 36, Kennedy Prentisil. Batting fifth in right field, number 17, Delaney Schnathorst. Batting 6th, the designated player, number 10, Lainey Schick. Batting 7th at shortstop, number 15, Reagan Rolling. Batting 8th at second base, number 8, Ashlyn Williams. Batting 9th and doing the pitching, number 3, Molly Hoekstra. Your flex player in left field, number 22, Morgan Lose. Head coach for the Carlisle Wildcats, Jim Flaws. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to our home plate area. The umpiring crew for this 4A championship game as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. At first base, Tom Berger. At third base, Joe Heavenhill. And calling the balls and strikes this evening, Roger Menke. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for state championship softball?
All right, we get things started with Carlisle in the field, Winterset at the plate. Let's take a look at the defense for the 20-3 Carlisle Wildcats. Along that outfield, left to right, senior, junior, senior in Los, Fernal, and Snothurst. And on the infield, Preston Hill, the senior, at third, next to a freshman, Reagan Rolling. Ashley Williams, a senior, at second. Hoffman, also a senior, at first. Preston behind the plate, a senior, and catching her fellow classmate, Molly Hoekstra, in the circle. 70-plus strikeouts on the season. 1.48 ERA as Carlisle gathers their defenders and it's ready to begin this 2024 championship game. As there we see Hoekstra, 15-1 on the season, 1.48 ERA. 94 innings, has sat down 72 via the strikeout. And she'll be facing a Winterset lineup that starts with a punch at the very top as Jenna Young, the freshman shortstop, get things going. Here is the order. It is Young, Drake, Stover, and Loudon. The powerful top four: Carter, Nicholson, Acton, Caius, and that's Thea Banning in that final spot that will be hitting for Winterset. And let's take a look now, Molly, at our keys to the game. Let's begin with these Winterset Huskies, the 7 seed, trying to pull their third upset of the week.
Well, they're playing their best softball at the right time. Just cruise through regional play, and they have to keep their composure on the defensive end. This is a Carlisle team that'll play a lot of small ball, going to put some pressure on this young Winterset defense.
How about for this Carlisle Wildcats team?
Well, like I said, they really want to execute offensively, find ways to score. They have to handle the pressure. They're expected to be here. They're expected to defend their crown.
Preseason number 1, and Winterset gets it started. Jenna Young drives it right back up the middle for a first pitch leadoff single.
Well, Jenna Young wastes no time. Not a surprise, really. Very good youngster out at shortstop. Very good basketball player. Just a fantastic young athlete for the Huskies.
Natalie Drake, the right fielder, digs in. And will face Hoekstra. 380 batter, a couple of home runs this season. 18 driven in. Swings at the second pitch. Drake with a couple of sacrifices this season as well. Both teams really tough. Try and put pressure on their opponent and then stick to the fundamentals for the most part.
Yeah, and I think we could see some runs in this game. A couple of really nice offensive lineups. Do things a little differently as far as style of play offensively, but can both really score runs.
Drake looks at a pitch upstairs, 3 balls, 1 strike here after Young stands at first with her leadoff single. Ball 4 sends Drake down the line and Young up to second. First 2 batters aboard for Winterset here in the top of the first. Bridget Stover, the catcher, now comes to the plate. The sophomore was 2 for 2 in the semifinals with an RBI double in the first inning.
Winterset and very familiar foe to them, Dallas Center Crime. Very competitive game in semifinal action. Both teams left a bunch of runners stranded.
That gets away from Preston and Young down to third. Drake gets to second. And an early visit from Carlisle head coach Jim Flaws in his 38th season, 35th with Carlisle.
They saw that they came in.
Check. First to home. We'll get this, girl. Okay, slow down, relax. This is our tempo. Team 1, 2, 3. Thank you, sir.
Reminds this team to play our tempo. You can tell Winterset trying to speed things up a little bit. Young setting that table. Aggressive from the very first pitch. She attacks. This young Winterset Husky squad, they don't want to be told that they don't belong here. Head coach told us yesterday, Steve Corcoran for Winterset, you know, the goal is to get to state, but now that we're here, we just keep winning, so keep it rolling.
Grounder by Stover up the middle. The throw to first is in time, but Young able to score from home as Stover drives in a run. Throw from Rolling over to Hoffman, and then Hoffman's relay.
Good read there by Young. When that throw went to 1, she was taken off. Defense didn't check the runner. She was about halfway home when that ball was released.
Drake still stands at second. This is Ava Loudon at the plate. Loudon, a junior first baseman. A 2-run home run in the quarterfinals. Has had a fun state tournament. Chopper to the third baseman, Prentice Sill. The throw across the diamond, and it keeps Drake at second base. And there's 2 away. So Lauren Carter now to the plate. Facing Hoekstra, the senior. Give up a single and a walk to the first 2 batters, but settling in. Getting a couple of ground outs. Carter smacks it into right center. Winterset trying to add another run, and they will as it gets away from Snothorst out in right. Natalie Drake scores on the Lauren Carter single to right. 2-0 here in the first.
Well, coming into this game, we expected these teams to score some runs. The Winterset with quite a statement here in the top of the first, Brad.
Jesse Nicholson, the senior, designated player, the only senior on this Winterset team, digging in, ready to make her mark. One's up and inside. 2-0 the count. Nicholson. Coach Corcoran says Nicholson is great at sitting on the off-speed stuff. Sees that one catch the outside corner. Plans to go to Grandview next year. Focus on academics. Here's the 2-1. Chops that one foul into the Carlisle stands.
No. What are we doing?
And the fans throw it back into the field of play, and they roll it over to the dugout for some sanitization.
Umpire says, no. Have you not been paying attention? We don't just throw the ball back on the field.
Pop fly, tough spot on the infield, off the glove of Hoekstra. As rolling, the shortstop was giving chase. Hoekstra backed up. It was right on the back side of the circle, I think, Molly, when it came down.
Yeah, kind of a tough spot for your pitcher to come off her motion and drop step back. I'd like to see one of those middle infielders come help her out. Second base playing pretty deep. Kind of a tough spot.
So that will go down as an error on Hoekstra. This is Bailey Acton, the third baseman, just a freshman. Scored a run in the quarterfinal round game. It's 2:55. Chops that one foul straight back. Winterset with 2 runs in here in the top of the first inning. Carter stands at second, Nicholson at first. Two hits, a walk, and an error have turned into 2 runs so far for Winterset. Acton looks at that one inside. Thrown away, nice scoop by Preston behind the dish. Preston, the catcher for Carlisle, will play softball at Indian Hills. She'll be the leadoff batter for Carlisle in the bottom of this first inning. Grounder, Prentice-Hill, over to Hoffman. 2 runs in for Winterset as the Wildcats give up 2 hits and an error. It's the Huskies with the early lead. The Wildcats due up here in the bottom of the first.
How are we doing tonight?
All right, let's flip the page, go to the Winterset Huskies defense. And a very young team across the board in the outfield. Benshoff, a junior, Caius, a sophomore, Drake, a junior. Across the infield, left side, Acton and Young, both freshmen. Carter, a sophomore. Ava Loudon at first is a junior. Behind the plate, Bridget Stover, just a sophomore, and she has a classmate in Thea Banning, just a sophomore in the circle. As Thea Banning, number 9, has pitched all but 11 innings of this Winterset season. 16-6 overall, 124 strikeouts. Here's the batting order now for the Carlisle Wildcats. Preston, Bernal, Hoffman, Prentice-Hill, Snathorst, Schick, Rowling, Williams, Hoekstra. As we get it started, Kennedy Preston, the catcher, digs in. As Banning able to settle in that circle in the first inning with a 2-run lead. Faces a Carlisle Wildcats team that likes to put pressure on the defense, likes to run. There's no problem playing small ball. One of the rules for Carlisle softball, if you're going to play, you have to be able to bunt.
Well, and 5 of the first 6 batters for the Wildcats are seniors. So you know that they want to respond and respond appropriately. Down 2. Now this team's not going to panic. They were down yesterday 3-0 in semifinal action. Didn't matter. They stayed up. They were enthusiastic in the dugout. Came right back and ended up winning by a sizable margin.
A hard hit Ball to right, and it drops. Drake unable to hold on to it. And Preston is aboard.
Time's out.
There's a look right in front, kind of right below the knees, and that's going to go down as an error. And Preston, the catcher, can get a courtesy runner. And in for Carlisle is Isabel Norring. So Norring in to run at first. Abby Fernal at the plate.
Norring definitely a threat to steal over there at first. Keep an eye on that. Carlisle wants to manufacture runs. They want to score in the first inning.
And Aubrey here at the plate, 4 for 4 yesterday in the semis. Slaps one left field, and it is foul. And Coach Flaws thought it landed right on the line. He had a good angle of it. Tough run for Roger Mankey, but came out from behind the plate, called it, clearly saw it go foul. Fernal at the plate. Here's the 1-2. Slaps it left side. Acton, the freshman at third, makes the throw across the diamond to get the out at first.
That's a nice play over at third against the speedy Fernal. Nice job. Fernal's got wheels. It's a nice play.
Spin steps in Meredith Hoffman. Shows bunt, backs it off. The senior first baseman, a 3-run home run to right center yesterday in the semifinal win over North Scott. Was part of a 7-run 4th inning for Carlisle. Talking with her, a good head on her shoulders, says it's a blessing to even have a season. She said, we're ready for Thursdays. Thursday will be my last softball game of my career. Plans to play volleyball at Morningside. Stands 6'2". Slaps it into right field, just over the glove of Carter at second. Around third, coming home to score is Norring, and Carlisle puts a run on the board here in the first.
Well, we expected some fireworks in this game. Both teams very good offensively. It was not going to be a play at the plate. Norring has those wheels. She scored over 20 runs on the season.
7 for 20.
Right. Re-enter now or wait?
No, you got to do it later.
So Riley Sievers in to run for Hoffman. And you heard Coach ask if he can re-enter now, and he will re-enter Hoffman at the end of this inning. So pinch runner, Riley Sievers, just a freshman, on the bases. A few freshmen work into this upperclassmen Carlisle team. Fly ball high and back out of play by Kennedy Prentisil. And Carlisle tradition, every foul ball run down to first base, touch the base, and then come back, grab your bat, continue your at bat as we make the trip down to first once again.
And if we have some of the lengthy at-bats that we had in that first game between Kinney and a number of Fort Dodge Dodgers, we're going to be here well into the evening, Brad.
Well, now there is a tie to this jog down to first with this team, and it may, but I've been told that it does not lengthen the time of the game. There's a ground ball into left field. Benshoff throws it in. Carlisle with 2 aboard. Prentisil is aboard. 2 base hits here in this first inning. Carlisle not done just yet. One away, Delaney Schnathurst to the plate. It's Thea Banning. Relaxed and calm out in that circle for Winterset. And this one is foul. So getting back to our foul ball here. Here's our current tie. Kaylin and Aubrey Fernal. Their mom, Candy Herb Fernal, played softball at Carlisle, late 80s. She's the reason that these teams run down to first. There was a play, it was a foul ball, hit a rock, ended up rolling back fair. And I hate to call Candy out, but got thrown out. So now every foul ball, the batter has to run all the way down to first base.
Thanks, Mom.
Yes. Got the on-deck batter always picking up the bat, making sure that everybody stays involved in the game. Here's the 0-2 to Schnathurst. Slaps left side. Acton lets it roll foul. And Molly, you thought we were going to have a lot of action here in this 4A game. First inning, we have plenty of action already.
That we do, Brad. That's what we're here for, action.
Missed low and away.
I like that big jump by Sievers out at second.
Sievers running for Hoffman.
Carlisle's going to take the extra base any opportunity they have.
Grounder left side of the infield. The defense asking for interference as Jenna Young came up to field that. And a veteran crew, you only get the best at the state tournament. And I think for there to be interference, I think there has to be contact.
Yeah, I agree. It would definitely be distracting, no doubt, when you see somebody in your peripheral vision, but don't believe that that's any type of interference. Good job by the base runner, in fact.
And it goes down as an error on Young there at short, but bases loaded for Schick.
We mentioned Dallas Center Grimes and Winterset both stranding a bunch of runners yesterday, base runners that is, so we'll see if Winterset can do that again.
So force there at home. They do not get the double play at first. Schick able to run it out. Banning though, the easy flip to Stover. And there's 2 away. Bases remain loaded, and this is freshman Reagan rolling to the plate. Coming in to run is your flex player, your left fielder, Megan Lose.
A little bit of a cool breeze here up at Rogers Park. Beautiful evening for exciting 4A and 5A action.
It has cooled off nicely now as the sun sets to the west behind the trees. Entire field now in the shade. Rolling shows bunt, pulls it back as Banning misses up high.
Little low for the umpire's strike zone. Thea Banning a little frustrated.
So 2 balls, 1 strike now on rolling. Grounder right side. This is Williams. The flip to Hoffman. And that ends the inning as Carlisle gets 1 back. Winterset a 1-run lead. plenty of action here in this first inning. Let's take a look now at the bracket, how these teams got here in this 4A field. You have Carlisle, the top seed, defeated Lamar's, and North Scott, who defeated Charles City in that 4-5 battle. Winterset, West Delaware, and Dallas Center Grimes. They come together here in this championship game. And I tell you what, for Winterset, this is their 5th championship game appearance. They are 2-2. Carlisle is in their 10th championship game appearance. They have won 5 and they lost 4. Most recent wins for Carlisle, 2019, last year. And for Winterset, 2017, just a few years ago. Some of these girls remember watching that game. A couple were on the roster here at State. Said, I remember the energy of that championship game, just watching it as a fan. They're hoping that that experience helps them deliver a 2020 title.
Both of these teams from the Raccoon River Conference, very familiar with each other. These two head coaches, of course, very familiar with each other with their long tenures respectively at these two schools. They met in the regular season on July 2nd. Carlisle getting the 7-4 win. As we said, this Winterset team really hitting their stride late in the season. Talking to players and coach yesterday, they went through a little bit of a skid in late June and lost 4 out of 5, and really from that point forward turned things around. Last game of the regular season beat a Waukee team. Of course, made it to state in 5A, and felt that built a lot of confidence heading into the postseason.
Played Fort Dodge this year. We just saw in the 5A championship game. Ankeny Centennial. They got a win over Ankeny Centennial. Finished 3rd in the 5A field this season. Ball 4 to Riley Caius. Sophia Banning to the plate. The Winterset pitcher, as you see, head coach Steve Corcoran in his 20th season coaching softball. Works with the pitchers and catchers a lot. Banning tries to bunt it to move Caius over. No balls, 2 strikes now.
And Coach Corcoran taught for a bunch of years in the Winterset district, is retired from teaching, but I think he's failed retirement. He said he still subs about 3 or 4 days a week.
There's the 0-2, drive right side. That's going to get into right field. Gets past Williams. Runners on first and second for Winterset.
Good piece of hitting by Banning after she attempted to bunt, was not able to get it down.
So in to run for the pitcher, Thea Banning. Let's listen in here quick.
Okay, if it's on the ground, go hard, slide hard, all right?
Just making sure everybody knows the situation here. Nobody out, 2 runners aboard. It's Kleemeyer, the 8th grader, running at first. First pitch drive into center field for Jenna Young, and the great throw from Aubrey Fernald keeps Winterset from scoring for the moment. Back-to-back singles here, have the bases loaded.
Jenna Young, she wastes no time in the batter's box, both at bats.
Zero for 8.
0-0 for 8. Yeah, all right here, sorry. 0-0 for 8. And our pitcher is just going to go to 4. And this 0-0 is going to pitch.
So Lexi Link is going to come in and pitch for Carlisle here in the second inning, as Molly Hoekstra will slide to second base and Ashley Williams will head out. Head coaches and umpires mic'd up for tonight's championship game.
Make the play at home. Make the play at home. Get that. Don't be so quick about here. Get the play at home. We'll get it. We'll get it. Let's go.
And the pitcher's going in
Home to first.
second base.
So in both games here at State, Carlisle has thrown both Hoekstra and Link, as Hoekstra went 5 innings in the semifinals. Link pitched the last 2. There was 4 innings yesterday in the semis for Hoekstra, and Link pitched the final 3 innings. And now coming in here in the second inning, facing Natalie Drake.
As we expected out of both of these communities, big crowds. Carlisle, Winterset, both great fan following of both of these programs. It's been that way for a long time.
Fouled back by Drake. So Lexi Link, the junior, 3.45 ERA, over 40 strikeouts. This is up high. 2-2 the count on Drake. There's a high fly ball. Right fielder making a long run, comes all the way into the infield. Schnothurst made the long run instead of Hoekstra. I don't know if she lost it or just thought it was going to go way behind her.
I mean, that was hit high. I think she, with you, I think she thought it was going a little deeper, but great play by right field to come make that play.
Stover pops one up. Schnothurst comes in again, makes the catch. Makes the catch in the infield. Now the ball gets away from third. The throw home is in time. They get the out. Kai is thrown out at home by Prentice-Hill. And Carlisle dodges a bullet. With bases loaded, nobody out.
Woo! Pretty good slide. Oh, she got it.
Right on the hip.
She got it. That's a good call.
9-5-2 on that final putout, catching Caius at the plate. So no runs for Winterset in the top of the second. Well, if you haven't noticed some masks and hand sanitizer here in Rogers Park, we'll show you. There's your softball guidelines. Disinfectant wipes, gotta have the Lysol. So they're marking every other bleachers. No sitting in the yellow zones. Got plexiglass separating the concession stands and fans. Masks on players. Some fans wearing masks. A lot of them seem to take them off once they sit down here in the stands. But here's kind of the highlights from the state of Iowa. delayed till the start of June in the games portion of the season, shortened from 8 weeks down to just 6. Just 2 schools chose not to participate. 11 teams ended their seasons early. None of the teams here at the state tournament have had any issues this past week. There's some masks in the front row there.
Good looking masks on a couple of young Wildcats.
Sometimes you got to have fun with the mask, you know? A lot of schools having the conversations about masks in school, not in school, partially through the day. Safe at first, outruns the arm of Jenna Young. Ashlyn Williams, it's Carlisle. Started kind of a tough play there in that deep 5-6 hole. Oh, excuse me, that was Link in there batting for Williams, and so Link, who's now the pitcher of record, will get a runner.
Now batting, second baseman.
Okay, here we go.
Molly Hoekstra.
So Molly Hoekstra, second baseman of record, to the plate.
Carlisle doing exactly what they want to do. In the bottom of the second, get the first runner on. Hoekstra will at least think about bunting. She showed it early.
Ashley Hyde running at first. Courtesy running for Link.
Let's go. Let's go.
There's Hoekstra. Pulls back, looks at a ball. 2-1 the count. There's the bunt down to the first baseman. Loudon throws back to Carter. Gets the out at first. Throw out to second base. Hitting Hyde. So there's one away here, runner on second. Kennedy Preston to the plate. Reached on an error to lead off the bottom of the first.
Preston's courtesy runner, Norrington, scored.
Coach called Preston the nucleus of the team as a catcher. Has been with Molly Hoekstra since second grade. Not just a leader, but hits in that leadoff spot. Comes up with a runner on second here in the second inning. High fly ball to right. Drake gives chase, makes the catch in foul territory for the out, and there's 2 away here in the second. Right fielders making some long runs
I was
here.
going to say, both right fielders getting workouts here. Don't often see a whole lot of action in right field, high school softball, but I'm sure they're happy to have it.
Aubrey Fernal at the plate, a ground out to act in the third baseman in the first inning.
That's out, yeah.
There's a slap over the third baseman's head, but Young is there showing her range. Makes the catch, ends the threat. A leadoff single, nothing to show for it for Carlisle. It's a 2-1 Winterset lead. Nice play by Jenna Young, the freshman shortstop for Winterset. We'll take a break. We'll be right back here to the state championship softball in Fort Dodge.
Okra is a staple of Southern cuisine, used in stews, barbecues, and sometimes it's the star of the show. I'm Charity Nebbe. On the next Iowa Ingredient, we'll visit an Iowa vegetable farm to see how okra is grown. Then Chef Lynn Pritchard will stop by the kitchen to share a few delicious recipes using okra. All that and more on the next Iowa Ingredient.
Saturday morning at 11:30 on Iowa PBS.
Coming up on a special edition of Iowa Press, we dive into the legacy of the Americans with Disabilities Act. 30 years after passage, what does the ADA mean today? And what policies may impact the disability community as they look to the future? We'll discuss this on the special edition of Iowa Press.
Sunday at noon on Iowa PBS.
3 runs in the first inning, scoreless in the second. We move to the top of the 3rd inning. Winterset, a 1-run lead. Leading things off will be Ava Loudon, the junior first baseman. As Lexi Link, the junior pitcher, came in relief in that 2nd inning. And got the final 3 outs on the 2 batters that she faced. And ahead, no balls, 2 strikes in the count. Came in, Molly, no outs, bases loaded. Got a couple of pop outs, and then that second pop out turned into a double play after the throw got away from Prentice-Hill at 3rd. Trying to score was Riley Caius, got thrown out at the plate. Off the mask of Kennedy Preston, senior catcher for Carlisle.
You all right?
One ball, 2 strikes here. Strike 3. Link. It's her first K of the game. And up high, got Loudon to chase.
Yeah, Preston with the big smile as she squeezed that one.
And Link getting ahead early in the counts here on her batters. This is Lauren Carter at a single to the right side of the field in her first at-bat. Part of a 2-run first inning for Winterset.
This Winterset team, I'm sure fully expecting to face Molly Hoekstra, having to adjust here to the other pitcher.
Often you get a little bit of a change of pace between the 2 pitchers on a staff. Can help keep the batters guessing. Carter flies it high, out to left. Lose underneath it, makes the catch.
Some really high fly balls.
Jesse Nicholson now at the plate. Drives that into center, coming in to make the play, Aubrey Fernal, the junior. And it is 3 up, 3 down for Winterset in the 3rd inning. And as Winterset gets set to come out, let's take a look at Thea Banning. Super slow motion.
Yeah, she's got those nice long levers. Good stride toward home plate. Good all-around athlete. Many of these Winterset young ladies are multi-sport athletes. She's a high jumper, plays volleyball, Says softball's her favorite, but enjoys being really busy year-round.
(16-6) on the season. Allowed just 1 run on 6 hits in the semifinals, 4 strikeouts. She says she has 6 different pitches, but 3 primary pitches that she'll mostly stick with. Started pitching back in 5th grade. Working with a 2-1 lead. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd for Carlisle. Meredith Hoffman to lead off, an RBI single.
Meredith Hoffman, what a great story. Has been through quite a bit this year, her senior year, spring senior year. In addition to the challenges with the pandemic, family's home unfortunately burned down and total loss. Everybody was safe, everyone got out of the home, but quite a tragedy, excuse me, said the Carlisle community really rallied around her family.
It was early March 5th. Dad woke up at 4:30 in the morning, noticed a bright glow out to the west, and it's quite unusual for 4:30 in the morning. Their deck started on fire. They couldn't put it out. As you mentioned, no one was injured. She credits her 14-year-old sister for grabbing their 2-year-old brother out of his crib. Still in a rental unit now, but rebuilding on that same location. Hope to be in by the 1st of the year. It's a fly ball. Banning's calling for it, and Banning takes it for out number 1 to retire Hoffman.
Meredith did tell us that they were able to find and salvage her softball glove. Said it's maybe not in the best condition.
Didn't smell real great right away. Said had to kind of clean it with some vinegar. Might be marked up a little bit. This is Kennedy Prentisil. We'll get a look at that when she's out at first base this coming inning. And now Banning getting ahead in the count on Prentisil. Prentisil a single in the 1st as well. Fly ball right to Young, and Jenny Young, the easy catch for out number 2. So Delaney Snathurst reached on an error in the 1st. Comes to the plate here, 2 away in the 3rd. Slaps it down 3rd base side. The scoop and throw by Acton, not in time. Acton had to decide if she was going to pick it up or let it roll and see if it would go foul. Tried to make the quick throw. The speed of Snathurst
you got it. Yep.
runs it out.
Yep.
Well, Delaney needed that speed in right field. A couple innings ago, really had to hustle in to retrieve a couple of fly balls just over first base. Does a good job of beating out that dribbler.
This is Lainey Schick at the plate. Two away here, bottom of the 3rd. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union 4A state championship game here in Fort Dodge. Grounder up the middle. Jenny Young, the scoop and the step. And 1 base hit for Carlisle, but no damage done. Winterset still a 2-1 lead. We'll be back with more championship coverage right after this on Iowa PBS.
Hello, I'm Paul Yeager. This Friday, for one night only, Market to Market moves to Iowa PBS World so you can watch the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Championships on Iowa PBS. So if you just want to watch Market to Market, switch over to Iowa PBS World on our .3 channel Friday at 8 p.m. or catch us online anytime at iowapbs.org.
Side the defender was fantastic. Will held the challenge, lots of strength.
Variant with a defender right on her and Brown.
Wonderfully on the volley, left foot. Dipped it up as we have a look at this. What a brilliant delivery by Wee, and Brown coming in.
Friday evening at 9:30 on Iowa PBS.
All runs scored in the first. Winterset a 2-1 lead over the top-seeded Carlisle Wildcats as we welcome you back to Fort Dodge alongside Molly Parrott. I am Brad Wells as we get ready for this fourth inning to begin. As 7, 8, 9 coming up here for Winterset. First pitch fouled straight back by Bailey Acton, the third baseman.
Another youngster in this Huskies infield lineup.
Fly ball left side, tailing towards the fence, and will land out of play and out of reach. Prentice-Hill and Rolling both giving chase. That fan comes away with the softball, which, as we mentioned before, will now head to the defensive team's dugout for sanitization and then will be re-entered into play. Lexi Link, the junior pitcher in the circle for Carlisle, came in to replace the starter Molly Hoekstra in the second inning. Got out of a bases-loaded no-out jam. There's a fly ball. Rolling gives chase all the way to foul territory. The freshman shortstop, Reagan Rolling, tracks it down.
Carlisle team's done a really nice job behind Lexi Link. Winterset's had opportunities.
There's Riley Caius, first pitch. Grounder right to Hoekstra. The easy flip over to first. There's two away. A lot of contact by both these teams at the plate. Thea Banning, the Winterset pitcher, swings at the first pitch. Preston makes the catch behind the plate. A really quick top of the fourth inning. 1, 2, 3. We'll be right back. Bottom of 4 when we return.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
No matter how many cases you solve, what bad people you put away, there's always another one standing right behind them.
Why do it if you hate it so much?
Because the dead deserve justice.
We have to face the facts, Thursday. We got it wrong.
If you want to catch him, then you need me.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Some things are unforgivable.
I can't save you.
Then no one can.
New season of Endeavor on Masterpiece Mystery.
Coming to Iowa PBS August 9th.
I, Harry Weiland, was a wet behind the ears 22-year-old Brooklyn film student back in 1968 when the then 36-year-old Johnny Cash agreed to let me chronicle 8 months of his life at home and on the road. Johnny Cash and Me allows Johnny to tell his own story through his actions, his words, and more importantly, through his music.
Coming to Iowa PBS August 21st.
A 1-run lead for Winterset. Carlisle coming to the plate here in the first. First pitch strike to Reagan Rolling, the freshman shortstop, who digs in, as you see in the first base coach's box. Lee Brett, long-time assistant. He's been an assistant since 1980 and calling this his last year. Coach Flaws says, I think he'll end up coming back.
I'm not sure Coach Flaws is going to accept his resignation.
Really good friends, though, has been with Coach Flaws the whole time. Norway native got the team together Tuesday to watch the movie The Final Season about the Norway baseball team as Rolling flies out to Fernald Center. And there's one away. Coach Flaws tried to draw some similarities between his Carlisle team and that Norway baseball team. Sound defensive team and come away with a few runs when you need it. But so many people just pour their hearts and souls into softball teams over the course of the years and gave up their summers, and Liebrecht certainly one of those for Carlisle.
But definitely someone who has positively impacted a lot of student athletes over a lot of years. So important to the development of these young people is not only to have great role models and mentors as head coaches, but assistant coaches, trainers, you name it.
Grounder left side, that's a fair ball, and Prentice-Hill, excuse me. Link digs it out. Acton just hesitated, was hoping it would take a hop foul, and then by the time she grabbed it, it was too late. Infield single and courtesy runner. Hyde back into run for the Wildcats. Molly Hoekstra, starting pitcher, now at second base. Hoekstra fouls that one away. One ball, one strike, the count. Thea Banning, the sophomore pitcher. Gets strike two on that foul ball, 1-2. And unlike Carlisle having two pitchers at their disposal or more for Winterset, Thea Banning knows that if she gets into any trouble, she has to simply work out of it. And Coach Steve Corcoran has had her throw all but 11 innings this season. And here's a base hit up the middle into center field. Hyde stays at second. But Hoekstra with a one-out single puts two aboard for Carlisle, and the top of the order now due up. Kennedy Preston, the senior catcher, will play college softball at Indian Hills next year, hits over 500. Reached on an error in the first and then flied out. And looks at ball one.
Carlisle team talks a lot about every player having a role, all 23 being equally important. Definitely using a lot of players tonight, bringing in a second pitcher, using some pinch runners.
Banning unhappy with not getting that call. The call on the 3-0.
Well, this Carlisle team, they're not going to panic being down. They've been down in several games this year and came back to win. As we said, they were down in the semifinals.
Safe at second. Everybody's safe as Carter bobbled it, tried to shovel it towards Young. Take another look at this. Off Banning's glove. And then the foot of Hoekstra knocks it away.
I can't hear you. You're fine. That's all right.
Noring will come in again as a courtesy runner.
So Noring at first. Aubrey Fernal now to the plate. Bases loaded, one out for Carlisle. The Wildcats an opportunity to tie it or take the lead. Thea Banning trying to work out of a one-out jam for Winterset. Slap left side. Third baseman makes the catch. The double play at second as Hoekstra was caught off the base. Winterset gets out of a jam. Base running miscue, and that's how you can end a threat just like that. Well, Molly, Carlisle's had base runners aboard every inning. This has been a fun game because there's been a lot of action for both teams here tonight.
We talked about this Winterset squad and their youth in the infield and how it would be so important for them to answer the call and handle the pressure that Carlisle likes to put on opposing defenses. And I have to say, Winterset really answering the call. There have been a couple miscues here and there, but they haven't lost their composure.
This feels like one of the more high-tech Zoom meetings I've been a part of here over the last few months. This has been good. We are both sitting behind home plate, but about 6-7 feet away from each other so that we can bring you tonight's broadcast as we see you take a look from our center field cameras. Some fantastic camera production going on here by the Iowa PBS crew in this 4A championship game. We saw it in the 5A championship game. Can't even give you a high five if I want to. Next year, maybe we'll be back to normal.
Always a pleasure, Brad. Always, no matter the distance between us.
Here's a high fly ball. Fernal underneath it and makes the catch. So that was Young, flies out to center. Natalie Drake to the plate. Fouls that one away. Base hit into center for Natalie Drake. And that is the first base hit that Lexi Link has allowed.
She has been solid since coming in relief for Molly Hoekstra. As expected, this Winterset team, they continue to be very aggressive at the plate.
Sure can.
Jenna Young really got things started.
Sure. Yes, sir.
From the first pitch.
Courtesy runner number 28. For who?
28 is in for 12. 12 is going to re-enter. So is that? Are we good on that?
You need to tell me. So 28 is running for 12.
You'll remind me to tell you though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
28 is running for 12.
Re-enter 12 and we're done here.
She wants the courtesy runner. She's got a courtesy runner.
Classic. You'll have to tell me later. Well, you'll remind me. I love it.
Coach is so used to so they're just going to run and then re-enter. Let's cover it all right now. Coaches like to be efficient, Molly. We like to be, they like to take care of as much as they can in one stop. So Kleemeyer at first was the courtesy runner for Banning. Now she'll be the pinch runner here for Drake.
Can of corn.
Stover high, rolling underneath it. 2 away. As the freshman shortstop, Reagan Rolling, won the starting role this season at shortstop. Got an opportunity to try and get a spark from the offensive side, and Coach Floss says she really delivered. Took off offensively, just a really solid glove defensively. Tatum Weifenbach, also a fantastic player, was at shortstop and just struggling a little bit at the plate. Gave Rolling an opportunity, and she's really taken off with it. Grounder to third. Prentice-Hill over to Hoffman. Squeezes it for out number 3. And while Link gives up her first hit of the game, no runs allowed. Winterset a 2-1 lead. Back after this.
Hello, I'm Paul Yeager. This Friday, for one night only, Market to Market moves to Iowa PBS World so you can watch the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Championships on Iowa PBS. So if you just want to watch Market to Market, switch over to Iowa PBS World on our .3 channel Friday at 8 p.m. or catch us online anytime at iowapbs.org.
Side the defender was fantastic. Withheld the challenge. Lots of strength.
Varian with a defender right on her and Brown.
Waterfully on the volley, left foot. Dipped it up as we have a look at this. What a brilliant delivery by Wee, and Brown coming in.
Friday evening at 9:30 on Iowa PBS.
The sun setting here in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Winterset, a 1-run lead as the sun is setting on the 4A championship game. 2020 Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Tournament in Harlan Rogers State Park. Winterset 2 runs, the top of the first. Carlisle 1 run in the bottom of the first. Here we're in the bottom of the second. The number 3 hitter, Meredith Hoffman, drives one left field, tailing foul over the fence, but foul.
Right into that pink and purple sunset, Brad.
Well, that's trying to ride off into the sunset, like smoking that pitch out towards left. Hoffman had a 3-run home run in the semis against North Scott out to right center. They play college volleyball at Morningside. Hit in the 4 spot last year on the 2019 state championship team for Carlisle. Has slid up to the 3 spot. One thing she told me, Molly, the 3 and 4 hitters have to be able to bunt on this Carlisle team. Nobody is an exception to that rule.
She talked about a game earlier in the week when she at the 3-hole and Kennedy at the 4-hole did back-to-back squeezes.
Rounds out here to start the bottom of the 5th. Quite the athlete, Meredith Hoffman. One of 8 seniors on this Carlisle team. Kennedy Prentice-Hill at the plate. A single and a pop out.
Nope. Same place.
2 balls, no strikes. Now 3-0, and Prentice-Hill trying to find a way on here. Well, look at that one. As Banning fires a quick strike. Three-two gets fouled off. Three-two's popped up. Caius camping underneath it, makes the catch. Two away here. Delaney Snothurst up. Reached both times. She's been to the plate. Reached on an error in the first. A single in the third.
Very effective from the left side of the plate, beating out a grounder last time up.
Time called by head coach Steve Corcoran. Going to go talk to Thea Banning.
He's just not giving anything. Yep, this kid slaps, right? Yeah. So let's pitch her inside then. But let's keep it at the knees. All right. All right, here we go. How many I got left? Two? Two conferences left, Blue?
That's your first one.
I got two left, right?
So maybe sensing Thea getting a little frustrated, not getting some of those calls close to the edges. Coach out there just to reassure her. Keep putting them there. Here's the 1-0. Gets the grounder right back to Banning. The throw gets away from Loudon. And Snothurst is aboard.
She really scoots down that line. Got a fortuitous bounce there.
Time's out.
A little bit of a chopper makes for a difficult play for the pitcher.
Right here, number 6 batter. Right there.
So Kaylin Fernal is going to come and pinch hit here.
Right, no, yep.
Kaylin Fernal, a freshman. Coming into pinch hit in the 5th inning.
29 is for 10, 10 is out.
Fernal 6 RBIs on the season, 4 doubles and 15 at-bats. Lefty comes up with 2 outs and a runner aboard for Carlisle. Fernal pulls the bunt back. The steal attempt. Out at second is Snothurst. Stover guns down the runner to end the 5th.
Great shot. Nice job of catching and applying the tag by Young.
So Winterset avoids any more damage. Here's our first inning highlights. Winterset first gets on the board on that Stover hit, and then it was Carter, an RBI rip to right. Hoffman drove in Noring, the courtesy runner, after Preston reached on an error in the first, and that's still where we sit, 2-1. As Carlisle out there on defense here for the top of the 6th inning. And finally, we talked about the 8 seniors. How about this? They started at 7 years old. It's the Carlisle Wildcats back around 2009. As they changed their name to Carlisle 2020. But the seniors, Molly Hoekstra Ashlyn Williams, Cassie Lee, Delaney Snothurst, Meredith Hoffman, Morgan Lose, Kennedy Preston, Kennedy Prentisil, all trying to end their careers as back-to-back state champs.
I love that Meredith Hoffman just had that photo on her phone. Easy access.
She
said, I've got it right here. I can send it to you.
She said she was getting it together, sending it to everybody for graduation plans. And here's a high fly ball, hit well. Back goes Lose off the wall. As Carter, a leadoff double here in the top of the 6th inning for Winterset.
Gets a hold of it. Thought that was gone myself.
It got up in a hurry. Morgan Lose turned and ran like it was going to be gone. Lexi Link, the junior pitcher, just her 2nd base hit she has allowed. Those first 4 innings that she pitched, she threw just 32 pitches and stranded 7 base runners.
Well, I mentioned that I thought that ball might have been sent out of the park. 8 different Huskies hit home runs this season. Jenna Young with the most, 9. A lot of power potential at the plate. Lexi Link continues to do a nice job in relief. Good opportunity here for Winterset to see if they can push one across.
Nicholson fouls it back. Talk about the 8 seniors for Carlisle. Nicholson, the lone senior for Winterset. Reached on an error in the 1st. Popped out to center in her 2nd at bat. Rips one right field line, tailing foul, and that's out of play. One ball, 2 strikes to count. There's a dad trying to talk a kid into running the ball back to the dugout.
Don't throw it on the field, son.
Count goes to 2-2. It's Carter at 2nd, a leadoff double for Winterset. Nicholson at the plate. Fouls it back. We'll do it again. Nicholson, one of those players, really gets the team rolling, gets the dugout jacked up. Just a really good hitter, close to 400, 16 runs batted in. Pops this one up, left side of the infield, and Prentisil clears out for the freshman shortstop Rolling to make the catch. One away. Bailey Acton to the plate. Tried to bunt it right side. One of those spots too, if you catch a defensive player not on their toes, sneak out a bunt for a hit. Both these teams, any way possible to put a run on the board, they will do it. And Link now ahead in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. The junior throwing well in the circle for Carlisle. Throw down to 2nd by Preston. One's fouled back and out of play. The Winterset has been the underdog all 3 games here at the state tournament as the 7 seed. Defeated 2nd seeded West Delaware. 6-seeded Dallas Center Grimes. And challenging top-seeded Carlisle here in the championship game. As a 1-run lead. Looking for more. There's the 1-2 to Acton, missed outside. There's the 2-2, swinging through, strike 3. Two away.
Yeah, Winterset hoping they can hit. Strikeout here by Link. Winterset hoping they don't leave Lauren Carter stranded. Carter, quite a volleyball player, just a sophomore, already verbally committed to play volleyball at the University of Denver.
There's a fly ball high to left field, Lose underneath it. Makes the catch, ends the threat, leadoff double. Left stranded here in the top of the 6th. We'll be back. Bottom of the 6th, Carlisle to the plate when we return.
George Bush took office at the beginning of 3 years of nonstop foreign policy crises.
Things were moving so fast on the ground.
That's a way to do it if you're going to do it right.
The liberation of Eastern Europe and the reunification of Germany, victory in the Cold War, the collapse of the Soviet Union. You talk about closure.
Tuesday evening at 9 on Iowa PBS.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
Great private detectives.
Still the same old Frankie. Staying out of trouble?
Well, where's the fun in that?
George Bush hardly had a chance. Almost out of the gate, he's hit with 9/11.
Our team of spy creatures reveal the astonishing variety of life across the globe.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station. Sign in and start streaming today.
(2-1) still our score in the first inning. Molly Parrott and myself said we're going to get a lot of runs, and we jinxed ourselves, but we have had plenty of action here in this 4A final. Leading things off for Carlisle.
Well, the way things started in the first inning, I thought we were in for more action than we've seen, although we've seen plenty of offense, just quite a few runners stranded. Common theme in the semifinal game yesterday between Winterset and Dallas Center Grimes.
This is Kaylin Fernal, the batter. As Thea Banning continues to fire from the circle for Winterset. That one missing low. (3-1) in there for a strike. There's the 3-2. Misses low. Leadoff batters aboard. Banning one into call. Instead, Fernal down to first.
Hold on. He's going for 29.
So Morgan Lose will be the runner at first. As Fernal did her job, got a base runner. Morgan Lose, the left fielder, is in the flex position. Substituting in here in the 6th. Reagan rolling, shows bunt, pulls it back.
Thea Banning not too pleased about that 4th ball to put a runner on. Does a good job of coming right back.
The bunt is down. The throw back to second. Back safely is Los. Rolling able to move the runner over.
Carlisle will continue to put pressure on this young Winterset infield. Won't be surprised if they go to small ball.
Here with the shortstop, if she slaps, wait on it or beat it. Chances are you wait on it, make sure it gets through so we can score you. Got it? Make sure it gets through.
No one was on third.
I know, but I'm not taking that chance. Somebody was going to get there. We need your run. Okay, let's go. Slap. Let's go.
Instructions for Link, the pitcher of record, the junior. Slap one down and move Los. Right back to Banning. Banning's going to go to first, get the out. Makes 2 away. Los now at third.
Well, Banning fielded the ball. She made a really quick look at that runner, but decided to go ahead and get the out.
So at the plate, Molly Hoekstra. Hoekstra, Drake signee. Started the game in the pitching circle at second base right now. Hard hit ball. Single in the 4th. Ground out back in the 2nd inning. Misses the inside corner. 2-1 the count. Husky fans getting excited with that call. They've got the back of their pitcher, Thea Banning.
Not so sure about that one.
There's a grounder into left field. Carlisle ties it up. Hoekstra drives in a big run in the 6th.
Big smile out of Molly Hoekstra over there at first base. The senior comes through when they needed her. Needed that 2-out clutch base hit. Probably had a little added motivation after, I wouldn't say she got hit hard early on, but Winterset was aggressive. They end up making the change. She stays in the game, but moves to second base and really comes through when her team needs her.
2 base hits in her last 2 at-bats. Now is Hoekstra, top of the order coming up here with 2 outs. We'll have a pinch runner for Hoekstra. And they're going to bring Noring in. This will be a pinch run opportunity. Was courtesy runner for Preston previously. And Preston at the plate. Noring on first, heads to second. A great jump. And a stolen base.
Man, she about slid right through second base.
Even stumbled out of the gates.
Ouch, ouch.
Got back safely.
Maybe not exactly as she practiced it, but she's safe.
And they're going to put Preston on. Intentional walk will set up a force at all 3 bases here. Aubrey Fernal 0 for 3 at the plate. Carlisle has tied it up here in the 6th inning. Frono slaps it. Foul. Thea Banning trying to get out of the jam. This is low. 2 runners aboard here. Here's the 1-1. That's going to go foul. And now Banning ahead in the count once again. Here's the 1-2, slapped left side. Great glove by Jenna Young. But Carlisle gets a run and they tie it up here in the 6th inning.
Jenna Young, what a glove. Man, that gets through. Noring's definitely scoring from second with those wheels.
We move to the 7th inning. 2-2 is our score here in the 4A final. It'll be 9-1-2 for Winterset. Thea Banning will be your leadoff batter. Jenny Young, after making that catch, will be up second. The Huskies looking to repeat what happened in 2017 when they were 4A champs. Carlisle looking to repeat what happened last year here in Fort Dodge, the 2019 4A champs. Both schools' most recent trips to state ended in a state championship game and a state championship win. For Carlisle in the circle, Lexi Link, the junior.
Thea Banning will try to help her own cause here, get things going for Winterset.
Banning digs in, 1 for 2 tonight. A single in the 2nd inning in her first at-bat. And this is going to be a pop-up. Preston underneath it and lost it. Those that go straight up are really, really tough for a catcher.
Well, probably easily lose it in the lights.
So count goes to 1-1 and Banning gets new life. Fly ball left field. Los, as it tails towards the line, drops it, comes out of her glove, and it's a fair ball. And she got the wind knocked out of her diving for that one.
Almost makes a fantastic play. Had it. Had the snow cone, just couldn't quite come up with it.
They'll mark that as a hit for Banning. Great effort, championship effort by Lawson.
Come up. Son of a gun, I would say just 15. I don't mean that.
Don't let her hit you.
Runner for Winterset. Allison Soderberg, the freshman.
Does Carlisle give her anything to hit? I don't think I'd throw her a strike on the first pitch. She seems to like it. She's looking for something to drive early in the at-bat.
2 for 3. She took the first pitch of the game straight into center field up the middle. All 3 hits have gone up the middle. 2 singles and a fly out to center. And this is going to be a pop-up in the infield. Link wants to take it. And gets a big out here in the 7th inning. Young does like those first pitches.
She's a competitor. She was not happy with herself when she went back to that dugout.
Natalie Drake at the plate. RBI double in the 4th inning of the semifinal. She's 1 for 2 tonight. And 2 hits, 2 RBIs in the quarterfinal round game. Base hit in her last at bat. She drove it to right center. Link missing up high. 3 balls, no strikes. And an opportunity here for Natalie Drake if she sees a couple of good pitches to put one into play. Preston, the senior catcher, quick visit.
Here we go. Here we go. Hey, let's go.
Senior catcher gonna calm down the junior pitcher.
Link finds a strike on the 3-0. Natalie Drake, 15 RBIs, a couple of home runs on the season. Fly ball, shallow center. Long run, Hoekstra calls for it. And they cannot get the force at second either. Everybody's safe. Good base running by Soderberg.
It's a tough play to make unless you're playing pretty deep out at second base. Just gets it to drop.
Yeah, you can throw it.
All right, so we can't make that move right now. So what I want to do is we got 2 shots to get a run in here. So I want you staying fairly close to the bag. Okay, if it's up in the air, you got to hold the bag. If it gets through the infield, you may score. All right, here we go. Stay off that high one, Stowe.
Reminds everybody there's just 1 out. Wants 2 opportunities to get this run in.
Yeah, maybe play it a little more conservatively. But he said if it gets through, you might be going.
Bridget Stover. An RBI ground out in the 1st. Looking to drive in another run. First pitch swings through, strike 1. Two pop-outs in her last 2 at-bats for Stover. There's a high fly ball. It's going to stay in the infield. Infield fly is called by the umpires. Catch is made by Hoekstra. Anyway, so 2 away. So now it's up to Ava Loudon. Loudon 0 for 3 in the game. It's over 300 on the season. And right on cue, drives it down the left field line. Drives one in, Soderberg into score. Safely into 3rd goes Drake. And an RBI double for Ava Loudon.
The aggressive mindset continues for the Winterset Huskies. Loudon shows no doubt, no hesitation whatsoever, steps right up to the plate in a critical situation and drives it.
Just throw it a little bit, all right? Make her throw it in there and try to stay off that high one and drive the ball. Okay? Don't take that first pitch. She throws that in there. Let's go.
Yeah, you heard it right there. Don't take that first one. If she throws it in there, you swing.
Yeah. Straight from Coach Corcoran.
I think a lot of times that first pitch is the best one you're going to see.
So many pitchers trying to get ahead, and Carter's going to get put on. An intentional walk will send Lauren Carter down to first, and Jessie Nicholson, the senior for Winterset, up to the plate. Base is loaded, 2 away. Winterset takes a 1-run lead here in the 7th and an opportunity for more with their lone senior at the plate.
Wanted no part of Lauren Carter. Had that big doubler last time up. She said she's quite a volleyball player, plays on the U.S. national team for her age.
Fly ball. Underneath it is Hoekstra. But Winterset scratches out a run in the 7th inning. RBI double by Ava Loudon.
Team 1, 2, 3. Yep, Mr. Brick on 3. 1, 2, Mr. Brack. Get one for Mr. Brack.
So they're calling for a run for their longtime assistant Lee Brecht. As the Carlisle Wildcats an opportunity now here in the 7th. After tying it up in the bottom of the 6th, they'll have to do the same here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Winterset, 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 7th. Carlisle 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 6th. They need 1 or more here in the 7th inning. Hoffman, Prentice-Hill, Schnothurst, due up. 3-4-5 for the Wildcats.
Ranked #1 all season long, target on their backs all season long after winning the title a year ago. A bunch of seniors on this Wildcats team. Can they do it?
Meredith Hoffman has taken some big swings tonight in her at-bats. She's had a couple home run distance foul balls tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. And she did not swing. Here's a fly ball, shallow center. Back and underneath it is Jenna Young. And there's 1 away. Kennedy Prentice-Hill comes to the plate, 1 for 3. Carlisle, your 2019 4A champs. Winterset on top of the 4A field in 2017. Battling it out here in 2020. A 1-run game in the 7th. Banning misses low. Two balls, 1 strike. Now 3-1 goes the count. The face mask of Roger Menke, home plate umpire. And the count runs full. Three-2 the count. Misses high. And a 1-out walk for Prentice-Hill. Puts the tying run aboard for Carlisle.
Good at bat by Prentice-Hill.
Ashley Hyde. 31. Okay, there's 36 out. 36 is right. I'm sorry, I'm just so lost. 36 is going to run. Oh, excuse me.
31. Oh, they do tell me.
31 is
okay.
36.
Okay.
She used to be my courtesy runner, now she's not. 31. 31 running.
So Ashley Hyde is going to go down to first base and run for Prentice-Hill. She was the courtesy runner previously. Now she will be the pinch runner, so will not be able to be courtesy runner anymore. Stands at first base. Delaney Snothurst at the plate. 1 for 3 tonight for Snothurst.
She can really scoot down that line, though. She puts pressure on the defense, like so many of these Carlisle players can do.
So 1 away here in the 7th. Snothurst looks at ball 1. Evens the count. Delaney Snothurst, senior right fielder at the plate. Makes the count to 2-1. That misses outside, 3-1.
Carlisle hitters doing a really nice job of working the count. Forcing a young pitcher to throw strikes.
Count runs full. Thea Banning, the sophomore pitcher, trying to close out this 7th inning. Slapped left side, heads up play by Acton, the freshman, to let that go foul before she touched the ball.
Very smart play. She would have had to just throw a laser to gun down Snothurst at first base.
(3-2) once again fouled back. Banning's worked quite the game today, too. Worked out of a few jams. Just 1 inning where she faced the minimum 3 batters. There's a base hit into left. And 2 runners are aboard here as Snothurst sends it to left. Hyde stands at second, Snothurst at first. That's the tying and potentially winning run for Carlisle. Winterset 2 outs away from winning the state title. So Kaylin Fernal, the DP, came in the 5th inning. Here's a fly ball right side. Carter, the second baseman, goes back, makes the catch, and there's 2 away.
Well, that very athletic middle infield, they continue to make big plays tonight. This Carlisle team, they have a ton of confidence in their reserves, as you can tell in this game. Coach Flaws talked about the freshman team, the JV team, and
she's in a hurry. When I take,
yeah,
let's take until she gets you a strike, and then we have to score on a base hit. I want any base hit in the outfield, the grass a little wet. No, okay, we're gonna hit the inside outside plate. Okay, and if it's short, I'll let you know. But right now, my intentions are to score off the base hit here. Let's go.
Reagan Rolling, a freshman, at the plate. Coach giving that subconscious confidence, planning on scoring on the base hit. It's Hyde at second, Snothurst at first for Carlisle. Rolling at the plate, it's Banning in the circle for Winterset. Gets ahead in the count. Snaps at strike 2.
Well, she was taken all the way on that first pitch. He said, till you get a strike, I don't want you swinging.
Oh, missed outside. Coach Flaws calling all of his runners in, calling a timeout here.
You've been hitting the ball all year for us. Just hit. You know what? It's just a ball game. If it's anything close, I think you got to get it. Well, although I don't know what he's going to call.
Do you want me to do hands or some moves? What? Do you want me to do like my hands or some moves inside outside?
Just hit it.
Yeah.
Got it? You'll be all right. You have to score, man. Let's go.
Ashley Hyde at second. Coach is going to be sending her. If Rolling puts it in play and gets it to the grass.
And on a senior-laden team, it's a freshman with the opportunity to make a huge play.
Here's the 1-2, slaps it into right field. Around third comes Hyde. Rolling's getting called out at first. We'll see if the run counts. The run is going to count. Rolling out at first. But Carlisle has tied it up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The freshman Reagan Rolling drives in the run.
I thought they were going to dance around for so long over at first place that the next run was going to score. Woof.
What a finish to the 7th inning.
Oh, thanks, Joe.
Here's another look. The freshman keeps the seniors' season alive. The run comes in. Hyde scores. Then the celebration, thinking maybe they won it all, but you see the home plate umpire saying that run does score, and we're going to have a little bit of a meeting there.
She turned to go and then changed her mind.
I was too busy walking.
So here's the runner.
Over here.
We're going to get a good look at it. So she kind of stumbled and then went towards second. That's a commit towards second base. So once you make an effort towards second.
And really at that point, she doesn't matter. You know, it's instinct to turn towards second.
Correct.
Right?
And that's exactly the type of style that Carlisle plays, is we take that extra base if there's a sliver chance of getting that extra base.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're right, that potential then Carlisle winning run would have been on third and potentially would have been coming around the corner.
Yeah, but you're right. That's your mentality, is you're always turning and looking to take the open base, and she did. She took a step in that direction.
That's exactly what Coach Flaws would tell anybody. That's how we coach them, is we coach them to get that extra base. Situationally, though,
big time heads up play over at first base for Winterset to make that tag.
Drake got it in quickly.
Ava Loudon with a good
Loudon
heads
there
up play there.
So now extra innings, top of 8. 7, 8, 9 due up here for Winterset. This is Bailey Acton. Acton struck out in her last at-bat. 2 balls, no strikes from Lexi Link. And a quick visit from senior catcher Kennedy Preston. Acton 0 for 3 tonight at the plate. And that's a strike, 2-1. Two balls, 2 strikes now on Acton. Fouled back. Bailey Acton scored a run in the quarterfinals of the state championship tournament for Winterset. Pops this one straight back and out of play. Two misses up high. Count runs full. Acton a good eye, looks at ball 4, and a leadoff walk here in the 8th inning. Riley Caius now due up, 0 for 2, walked and was thrown out at home in the 2nd inning. Winterset. The runner aboard, nobody out. Time called by Coach Corcoran.
You can't run and bunt. You're going to run right out to front of the box.
Okay, I was
Yeah, but as soon as he breaks up, you got to break
So
up.
you're gonna sack bunt here, all right?
Okay.
So square around and get it. Square around and get it down. I want you to take the first pitch. We'll get one strike on you, then you'll look down at me for a second. Here we go.
So instructions from Coach Corcoran: take till you get a strike. Then we're sack bunting here, as we are in the 14th championship game to go to extra innings. The last one, Molly, I think you and I remember this one. 16 innings, Iowa City, Regina, and Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont. 2017, 16 innings.
It was a long game.
That was a very long game.
And a long drive home.
You remember yours too? I remember mine. That's it's funny how that works.
Probably snagged a Diet Mountain Dew at the Casey's down the road from my drive back to Ames.
Oh, those kids certainly remember it as well. Here's a fly ball right field. Guys pops it up in to make the play is Snothurst. One away.
I don't know that I've seen a team hit the towering pop flies that Winterset hits. I mean, not that many ground balls.
Well, maybe forgot too the instructions for the sack bunt in the meeting with Coach. Now another fly ball. And the catch by Snothurst. 2 away, top of the order, Jenna Young to the plate. Molly, where do you put the over-under on if she swings at this first pitch? At least 3 of her 4 at-bats she has. But
I mean, there's no way you give her a strike.
You're over here. 2 for 14, 2. No conferences. 2 for 14. You got to go.
All right.
No conferences.
You're going to score.
Avery Darling, the freshman, in to run at first.
Good discipline.
As you mentioned too, Link not throwing anything good on that first pitch. Here's one into left center, tailing towards the left fielder. Lose right to her. Carlisle closes down Winterset in the top of the 8th, and an opportunity to win it in the bottom of the 8th. 8-9-1 due up.
Let's go, team. Teams, go. Let's go. Who's up for it?
Carlisle, your defending state champs. Also a little excitement before the game for their crowd as Carlisle native Jordan Gronewald inducted into the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Softball Hall of Fame. 140 wins as a pitcher, hit over 500. 4-time All-Stater, went to play at Drake, 2-time All-Conference in college. She played in 3 state tournaments. Trying to use a little bit of that Carlisle magic here to capture a 4A title in back-to-back years. Winterset, they'll be gunning for inning number 9. Grounder to Young, the flip over to first. Loudon with the squeeze. 1 away.
Nice play there by Jenna Young. Almost goes down to her knee just to make sure she's going to sit on that. No chance of it popping back up.
Molly Hoekstra to the plate. RBI single in the 6th. She's 2 for 3 tonight at the plate. Plays softball at Drake. Started the game, worked the first 1+ innings of the contest. And then moved to second base. Gave up 2 runs in the first, had the bases loaded, no outs, as Link helped Carlisle work out of that jam from the circle. Hoekstra's come through with her bat tonight. Here's the 2-1. Grounder. Third baseman Acton, the freshman, to throw to first, not in time.
Looked like she wasn't sure if she was going to try to get her body in front of it or go for the backhand. I think that'll be scored as an error. Yeah, I think she had her feet there. I don't know that she needed to go to her backhand, but
it was close at first too. Loudon's foot came off that base a little bit as she reached to catch it. First pitch strike to Kennedy Preston. So we go to the top of the order, 1 out and 1 on for Carlisle. Fouls that one back and out of play. Preston reached on an error in the first. Flew out to right in the second. Infield single in the 4th and walked in the 6th. Comes up here in the 8th inning. Thea Banning, the sophomore. Way ahead in the count. Snap right side, that falls foul. Thea Banning. I'll go overlooked how solid she's been in that circle.
Woo! Ooh, Preston wanted that.
Here's the 1-2, changeup slapped up the middle into center field. And 2 runners aboard here with 1 away in the 8th inning. And the potential winning run, and Hoekstra stands at second base. Aubrey Fernal at the plate. Hoekstra at second. This is low and away.
No, you only get 1 now. You only get 1 inning now. You can go, but you only get 1 inning now.
Hey, now listen. When we break out of this huddle, you turn around, you tell your outfield, on a base hit, they got to go home. Okay? We're not going to try and get it at first. Or we got to go home with it because they'll be going. They'll be going, right? All right, here we go.
So winning run stands on second base as Hoekstra is at second. Preston at first. At the plate, Aubrey Fernal. That misses upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. That one hits the plate. 2-1. Fernal slaps it towards third. They get the force at third. They do. The flip to Young. Wow. 2 freshmen on the left side of the infield.
I mean, I think she could have just taken that herself.
At first, I thought she was going to. 2 outs. That's a big out, and it keeps that potential game-ending run out at second base. Grounder left side. Young scoops it. The throw home as Carlisle sent him. Ran right through the red light. Thought Young had no chance of getting it. What a scoop. How about that for your Winterset defense?
What a play. Holy cow.
The easy tag for Stover at home. And the what could have been for Kennedy Preston.
I mean, that's a game-saving diving play. If that goes through, she's scoring.
For sure.
Nothing against your left fielder's arm, but.
For sure. As deep as they're playing, that scores it easily. Instead, 9th inning. Here we go. Flip the page. Winterset. Heart of the order due up. 2-3-4. Natalie Drake will get us started. There you see it. 3-3 through 8. 9 hits for Winterset. 12 hits for Carlisle. Molly, we may stack up a bunch of runs by the end of the night. Still.
Well, we knew we'd see a lot of hits. I think we just anticipated seeing a few more runs pushed across the board. Not all that surprising. Winterset with 4 errors. It's a young squad. This is a Carlisle team that forces defenses into making mistakes.
Yep.
But despite that, they've hung right in there.
Natalie Drake swings through the first pitch as Lexi Link gets ahead in the count. Talk about the number of hits and the low score. Winterset, 10 runners left on base. Carlisle, 12 runners left on base. It's more than a runner per inning. It has been nearly every inning. Winterset, except for the 3rd inning. Well, excuse me, the 3rd and the 4th inning. They both went 1, 2, 3 in order. Other than that, runners aboard every inning. For Carlisle, the same. Runner aboard every inning. Slapped foul by Drake. These teams played back on July 2nd. Carlisle got the 7-4 win. They now meet in the 4A championship game. And we're in extra innings. Top of the 9th. Natalie Drake digs in for Winterset at the plate. Here's the 3-2 from Link. Hit hard, grabbed by Hoekstra. The throw to first in time.
Wow, the presence of mind to hang it right in there, make that play after the initial muff. Wow, nice play out of the senior.
This is Bridget Stover. An RBI in the first inning, and then 3 flyouts. Knocked a run in, was thrown out, so 0 for 4 on the night, but drove a run in with runners on second and third. That one called off the plate, 3-1. Fouled straight back. Stover battling at the plate. Link not budging from the rubber. 3-2, fly ball left side. Coming in, diving catch for Los.
Wow.
That is all out. That might hurt, but that feels really good.
She's young. You're not sore when you're...
Not when you're 18.
When you're a teenager, you don't get sore.
Los, the senior, big time catch out and left. Ava Loudon at the plate, 1 for 4. Double and a run batted in. Ava Loudon grounds to Prentice-Hill. The throw over to Hoffman in time. 1-2-3. Go the Wildcats in the top of the 9th. Still tied at 3 as we head to the bottom of the frame. Carlisle coming up with 4, 5, 6.
Team 1, 2, 3. Good job. Let's go. Sorry. Yeah, you're still in.
That Carlisle offense, Molly, they just find a way. As in between innings, the whole team runs down towards the fence. There's a story I've got for you, and it's actually with the Winterset Club. As you see our hit totals, 3 runs apiece for 7th seeded Winterset and top seeded Carlisle. We've been talking about COVID-19 and some of the changes. Well, for Winterset, Molly, here's one of the COVID cants. Their tradition, before a game, they would all run to a corner of the field, and Banning told me we would all spit at the same time into our circle, and then we'd give a good pep talk. We can't spit anymore. That's one of the no sunflower seeds, no spittings allowed in high school softball now. It's like we don't spit, but we still have our pep talk in the corner. So another fun COVID-19 fact of the 2020 softball season.
I mean, no spit softball? How is that?
No spit softball. That's the adjustment Winterset's had to make. They may not come back if they win here tonight. Jenny Young makes the catch. Prentice-Hill pops out. Delaney Snothurst to the plate. Drives it up the middle. Back-to-back base hits for Delaney Snothurst. Just been so efficient at the plate. Snothurst, the senior right fielder at first. As Kaylin Fernal designated player at the plate. Tries to put the bunt down. It rolls foul. And now behind in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Now we'll see the confidence in the bunting abilities, see if they have Fernal try and lay one down again. They may be swinging away here. Little up, little outside, 1-2. There's a hard hit ball towards right field. Making the catch is Natalie Drake. And Snothurst has to stay at first. 2 away. And Reagan Rolling digging in. Looks at strike 1. This freshman shortstop drove in the game-tying run in the bottom of the 7th inning. And here's a slap towards the right side. Carter's there to make the catch. And we just had the first base umpire call the runner out for leaving early. So Rolling will be leading off if we get to the 10th inning, which we are there. So we'll be back right after this.
Pay attention, please.
I got something I gotta tell you.
I was raised to believe no dream is unreachable.
You can't get in the way of a good story.
Hemingway is this enormous talent.
That's wonderful. What I got is the new thing.
The game just got bigger. Did you?
It's better than
Wow.
tell the world, spread the word.
It remains a fast-moving story.
Get to the bottom of it.
This is what adventures are made of.
Slime molds. How could you not love them?
You ain't ever seen
Phenomenal.
what you about to see.
That's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. I can't believe it myself.
Wow.
I'm speechless.
I believe this right here is the best.
Oh, that's some hot gossip for you, isn't it?
It's better than
I love bringing other people together.
I feel like I'm doing something important.
How powerful is that?
Stay curious.
you ain't ever seen what you about to see.
Let's keep her going. Top of 10. Winterset 3, Carlisle 3. Extend your scorebook. As Lauren Carter leads things off. Hard hit ball. That's fair. Left field line all the way to the fence. Carter, a rounding double. And that is how we begin the 10th inning for the Winterset Huskies.
Second double of the game. Correct?
Second double of the game back in the 6th inning. 3 for 4. And now stands at second. Potential go-ahead. This is Jesse Nicholson, the lone senior at the plate. Tries to put a bunt down. Nicholson holds on that high pitch. High fly ball, tailing towards the left fielder, Los. No dive required on that one, and there's one away.
Couldn't quite execute on moving the runner over.
Fly ball hit by Acton. It's going to stay in the infield as Link making sure she had a good read on it. Makes the catch for out number 2. That brings up Riley Caius. Kaya slaps one left side, rolling the throw over to first. Some solid defense by both these teams. A leadoff double turns into nothing for Winterset. We go to the bottom of the 10th.
Get Kennedy up the bat, okay? We got 3 people to get it. Somebody get on 4. So team 1, 2, 3. Good job. Very good.
Winterset just not able to execute in advancing that runner. Generally, you get a runner on second with nobody out. It's a prime opportunity to score.
So back to the circle goes Banning. Banning is the one who told me about the COVID can't. She does like the part about the balls coming directly from the dugout. She says she gets to pick her favorite ball, and if they get fouled out of play, as soon as it gets to the dugout, they'll throw it into her. So, of the game balls, I don't know if every day is a different favorite one, but Thea Banning has been pretty tough to manufacture runs on. So Reagan rolling back at the plate. As we mentioned, the end of the 9th was goofy. While she hit it, the runner that was on first got called out for leaving early. So she remains the batter, and with it being a new inning, starts with a fresh count. And here's the 1-1, a chopper to Jenna Young. Long throw, just gets rolling at first.
Oh, what a great play by Jenna Young. Wasn't in a position to charge that, had to sit back and really showed off her arm strength. Nice play. She has a very bright future ahead.
First pitch, strike. Here's a grounder. Another strong throw from Jenna Young. Brings up Molly Hoekstra. First pitch misses low. Grounder, left side, gonna leave it for Young. Tough play, and she makes it. All 3 outs, Jenna Young over to Ava Loudon. And Carlisle goes down in order. 1, 2, 3. We'll take a break. We'll be back. More softball from Fort Dodge in this 4A championship game.
Yeah, they do.
Here we go.
There's something in the air, I sense it. Like the wind has changed direction.
Slime molds. How could you not love them?
This is how science happens. It's cool.
I can hear a storm, it's rumbling. Sounds like a freight train coming.
Stay curious.
Oh, it's a current, electric, a fire, magnetic, the city streets at night. An eruption, explosion, an earthquake, commotion, a gamma ray burst of light.
I can feel it.
Oh, it's like the stars align.
Amazing!
Oh my gosh. The G-forces are indescribable.
For science.
Yes!
of 11. Thea Banning fouls the first pitch of this 11th inning. Out of play. Banning looks at one down low, and we talked about Banning just a little bit, but just working so hard in that circle. You know, has given up some hits, but not giving up a lot of runs. There's a hard hit ball, center field. Bounces to the fence, Banning into second base, a stand-up double to lead off the 11th.
Man, they can hit the ball. I mean, do you pitch to Jenna Young here? I know you're not interested in extra base runners, but she can make it hurt with that first base open.
And Banning, the pitcher. Winterset will have the opportunity to bring a courtesy runner in. It's going to be Allie Soderberg.
And they are going to put her on.
So Jenny Young gets the intentional walk. It's not required to throw pitches for the intentional pass. Simply send the runner down. So Young down to first. Natalie Drake steps in. So 2 runners aboard, and Coach Corcoran uses his 1 timeout to have a discussion here.
Okay, so we're gonna have a swing here till we get a strike. Then we're gonna sacrifice bunt the ball. Okay. So if they don't throw it in there, we'll keep taking balls. But after we get a strike, then we're gonna sacrifice bunt. All right. You got to run hard, slide hard. If she gets it down, I might change my mind.
He's funny.
20th season coaching for Winterset. 610 wins for Steve Corcoran. So Drake looks at a strike, and now the sack bunt should be coming from Drake the junior. Puts it down. Beautiful bunt. The play's going to have to go to first. Nice scoop by Hoffman. One away. Soderberg moves to third. Jenna Young advances to second. Now, top of the 11th. Remember, Winterset is the visitors, so a run does not end it. They need as many as they can. Now Bridget Stover's going to get the intentional walk to set up the force at home.
Yep, want to load the bases. You have a force everywhere.
So Ava Loudon, who had the RBI in the 7th inning, to put Winterset ahead at the plate. Hit hard to the third baseman. The throw comes home. They get the out at home. Safe at first is Loudon.
She hit it too hard.
So 2 away now. Bases loaded. It's Lauren Carter. 2 doubles already today. She's 3 for 4. At the plate with the bases loaded. Lauren Carter, just a sophomore, has an opportunity here in the 11th inning. Young at third, Stover at second, Loudon at first. Carter drives it up the middle, scores one, around third, back to third, and safe at third. We had some contact over here. We're going to have a discussion. I believe Steve Corcoran had a little contact with Stover as she rounded third. Here's the hit by Carter that drove in Young. That run counts for sure. Right before that,
second one out on coach interference. Yep. He's gonna now wait a second. Yep. Let's breathe. Okay. Yep. He's going to come unglued, so you stay close. I will. You want to talk to him?
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Okay. Let's call it out first.
Okay. You're out.
The run counts, right? So they're still up one.
The run counts.
Unfortunately, that's the rule.
so one run is all Winterset will get here in the top of the 11th. As Lauren Carter drives in Jenna Young, and then Bridget Stover gets called out at third on coach's interference.
I don't think I've ever seen
Steve Corcoran.
Coach's interference with your own player.
It's something where you can't push a player back towards third, something like that. But
I just don't think I've ever even seen it.
Haven't seen it before? Why not see it in a championship game?
You know, 11 innings, 25 hits, coach's interference.
One-run game. So we'll see what head coach Jim Flaws can scratch together for the Carlisle Wildcats.
Got it.
Top of the order coming up. Kennedy Preston, the leadoff batter, will lead off this 11th inning. This has been a fun one though, Molly. Winterset, the 2017 champs. Carlisle, state champs a season ago.
And it's been exciting since the very first pitch when Jenna Young sent it flying.
First pitch outside.
Carlisle looks like will continue to be patient, perfectly content to take until they get a strike.
Hard hit ball towards right field. Drake tracks it down, makes the catch. One away. Thea Banning trying to help her Winterset Huskies to a state title. First pitch strike to Aubrey Fernal. 0 for 5. Grounder, right side of the infield. Carter, the quick toss over to first in time.
Well, she had to put a little mustard on that one. Slow roller. Woo.
So to the plate, Meredith Hoffman, the senior. Swings through strike one, playing in her final softball game of her career. She'll be a college volleyball player at Morningside. A 3-run home run yesterday. Lays off that one, 1-1 the count.
Has interest in going to dental school at some point in the future.
Majoring in biology and chemistry. Because you can. Grounder up the middle, and Hoffman keeps it alive for Carlisle. 2 out, single right up the middle for Meredith Hoffman. Kennedy Prentisil now to the plate. First pitch strike from Banning. Strike 2 on Prentisil.
Got to keep this out of the zone. Way up in the count.
Banning puts one in play, giving chase, and making the catch is Stover. And Winterset wins the 4A title in 2020. Steve Corcoran and the 7th-seeded Winterset Huskies take the title. Carlisle, the defending champs, knocked off in the title game. A fantastic finish that went 11 innings. Thea Banning so tough in the circle for the Huskies. And that smile says it all.
From Winterset, Jenna Young. From Carlisle, Kennedy Preston. From Dallas Center Grimes, Molly Cooney. From Dallas Center Grimes, Cameron O'Brien. From North Scott, Sam Lee. From North Scott, Rachel Anderson. From Carlisle, Meredith Hoffman. From Winterset, Bridget Stover. From Carlisle, Aubrey Fernal. And your Class 4A All-Tournament team captain. From Winterset, Thea Banning.
Congratulations to the all-tournament team members. Gutsy performances by all those players. All 3 games they played. Thea Banning, the captain, certainly earned it tonight for Winterset.
Yeah, she sure did. Went the distance, 11 innings, helped her own cause at the plate. Really fun night of softball.
gentlemen, it's time for your trophy presentation. Congratulations to the runners-up in Class 4A. Head coach Jim Flaws and the Carlisle Wildcats. Congratulations on an outstanding 2020 softball season. And your 2020 Class 4A State Softball Champions, head coach Steve Corcoran and the Huskies from Winterset.
Molly, you certainly tip your caps to the 8 seniors for Carlisle, but man, you credit Winterset and just the grit that they showed to pull this one out in 11 innings.
Well, talk about getting hot at the right time. They played so well late in the season, in the regionals, in the state tournament. This is a young squad. They'll be back, certainly.
Congratulations to the 7th-seeded Winterset Huskies, your 2020 4A champs. And tonight's just the start of it all. Tomorrow, 3A, 2A, 1A, it all starts at 2:30. Albia and Williamsburg, followed by the 2A and 1A championship games. All right here on Iowa PBS. It's the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Softball Championship games. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a good one.
Funding provided by Fairway Meat and Grocery is a proud sponsor of the Iowa Girls State Softball Championships. Fairway believes in supporting the places Iowans learn, work, live, and play. Congratulations to all the schools and student athletes in this year's games. By Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialists, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community.